and welcome back to the Sports Crit Lab podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Jasmine George Williams. The people call me Dr. G. I'm your sports crit cutie, your hood hippie. I'm a professor of race, sports, and social justice, and I'm also the brains and the beauty behind the Sports Crit Pedagogy Framework and the Sports Crit Collective. Come on now. My work sits at the intersection of sports, media, cultural, labor, and power. And around here, Sports Crit Lab, we don't just watch sports. No. We read them, we interrogate them, we expose what the game is hiding in plain sight. So won't you step into the lab with me? This episode is produced by She Shed Productions, the creative home of the Sports Crit Collective, where scholarship, storytelling, and resistance, well, we meet to disrupt dominant narratives in sports and society, and we rewrite the game. Today, we are going to, I'm rather excited about what this episode would entail. For those that have been rocking with me, for those that are in the wild with me in my hashtag Sports Crit Classroom, we've been talking about social determinants of health. My wonderful Sports Crit scholars just completed their wellness complex proposal and breakdown. And when I tell you they were brilliant. Some avenues, directions, lens that had never been explored before. It was good shit. It was really good shit. Anyway, so we've been talking about systems, social determinants of health, and well, we're going to move forward and push that needle even more. How do you say, Dr. G? Well, we're going to look at the WNBA collective bargaining agreement. Now, this CBA, collective bargaining agreement, really represents a landmark moment in women's professional sports. What a time to be alive, baby, okay? While media coverage was, really largely focused on salary increases and revenue sharing, what I'm going to bring to you, good people, what we're going to talk about as we close out this semester, golly, we're going to argue that this agreement can also be understood as a structural health intervention. I said it. So we're going to draw from trauma-informed care frameworks and the concept of conditions of care within sports systems. What we're going to do is examine how the collective bargaining agreement addresses all of those structural stressors that have been historically affecting women athletes, particularly women athletes of color. So what we're going to do is situating the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement, within the broader context of athlete well-being. What we're going to do is reframe labor policy as a determinant of athlete health, and proposes this new lens for sports scholars and kinesiology educators. Collective bargaining agreement as a health infrastructure. Here we go. All right, good people, we're back and we're better than ever. Okay, let's crack it open. Let's really break this down. Let's define the intervention, the whole collective bargaining agreement, but let's define it, right? What is the collective bargaining agreement? Before we dissect it, we have to understand the tool itself. We've got to understand the intervention itself. A collective bargaining agreement, or CBA, is a legally binding contract negotiated between a professional sports team, a professional sports league, actually, and the players' union. It determines the working conditions of athletes. What does that mean? Salaries, benefits, revenue sharing, travel, free agency rules, housing, retirement, parenting protections, medical care, all of it. In plain language, the CBA defines the terms of employment for professional athletes, okay? So, for those of you that have been rocking with me, particularly this season, as we continue to call it our power season, we're interrogating power in every which way and form. I've been talking about the past few episodes for decades. The WNBA's term of employment has really created a system of chronic physiological stress. Dr. G, you're putting a lot on it. Well, let's talk about it. This new CBA, good people. Now, the league's board of governors unanimously ratified it, meaning like, let's go, green light, March 24th, 2026. I don't know, that might be a quiz or, iPads and doodads and knickknacks and paddywhacks. Get it out. Get your Sports Crit composition books out. I'm not playing with you, right? Now, this CBA runs for 7 years. So it's going to run until 2032. Now I'm looking at it, I'm looking at my notes and I'm like, that doesn't even look like a real year, but here we are all up in 2026. Okay. So it doesn't just change the terms, it rewrites them entirely. And we're going to break it down. Okay. It transforms the CBA from some sort of simple labor contract into a comprehensive public health intervention. Let's go. All right, let's open the document and see exactly how. Are you with me? Are you with me? For those that are not in the wild, in my hashtag Sports Crit Classroom, the show notes and a link to the actual CBA will be attached. For those that are in the wild with me in my Kin 2290, it's uploaded in the module. So let's look at it. The CBA as a health intervention by the numbers. So we're going to treat this CBA like a clinical study. We're going to look at the key interventions. We're going to pull directly from the agreement and what they mean for the athlete's body. As I break down the 4 different interventions, I'm also going to provide what does that mean for the physiological impact. All right, so the first intervention number 1, financial stability, good people, and the end of that second season stress. What do I mean by that? The old system, the old collective bargaining agreement, the old just system of how the WNBA was created, well, it forced players to go overseas and really get treated like the actual fucking professional athletes that they are, all right? They had to go overseas to make some sort of living wage. That meant year-round competition, constant travel, no true physiological rest. That is so important. That reset is so important. For those that have just stepped on the scene, hi, welcome to the Sports Crit Lab. It's so good to have you here. But over the holiday, I had a quick somatic liberation series, and that really spoke into what it takes for us to continue to heal our nervous system so that we as athletes, activists, caregivers, educators, just folks that just care about the well-being of people, how we, as those at the front line, can take care of our nervous system, and so how we can liberate our mind, body, and spirits from a somatic standpoint. So this is my jam. So it's gonna come together. Okay. So the new CBA changes that foundation. The league will now share, as I talked about it, 20% of the gross revenue. Give me the loot. It's give me the money. I cannot believe I did that. 20% of gross revenue with players through their salaries and their benefits. Okay. This ties players' compensation directly to the league's growth. Now, what does it do? It creates a shared stake in its success, the way it should have always been. The new salary scale is a direct assault on economic precarity. Okay, precarity. 2026, the minimum salary will be $270,000. Now remember, Caitlin Clark, the #1 draft pick, almost 2 years ago, #1, she pulled in $77,000. The minimum moving forward will be $270,000, and the max will be $1.4 million. What does this mean? The team salary cap will also skyrocket from $1.4 million in 2025 to $7 million. That means the most that they can spend, the cap for their entire team is $7 million, not 1.5. They bringing me in there to stretch and shoot. Now, y'all know Dr. G's jump shot is still wet. Okay, but as we also know that if you want to see me on a Friday, Titus, what day do I need to start stretching? If you want to see me on a Friday, Tuesday. Okay, so let's talk about the physiological impact that has, right? No longer the stress. It's not just about wealth, it's about removing the chronic stressor of financial insecurity. So I hope and pray that I've got folks from all over the land watching and listening to the Sports Crit Lab podcast. Welcome. And I can say confidently that we all know that feeling. Some of us have felt that a little longer in our lifespan, of the stressors and the toll of being financially insecure can do to your mind, body, and spirit. Well, it's about removing that chronic stressor of financial insecurity. And it's about eliminating the need to be physically destructive. That's what the second season is, because the ladies go hard and then they are traveling overseas, and then they're going to give it their all to their second team, right? That destruction of their bodies. When the athlete's primary source for financial security is no longer having to go overseas, you know what I mean? Contingent of playing in China or Russia or anywhere else in Europe, just so that they could be treated like a fucking professional ball player. Listen, their body is finally allowed to have an off season. Cortisol levels drop. Tissue repair can actually take place, right? None of these chronic injuries. This, to me, is the single most powerful injury prevention intervention in this entire agreement. Okay. Second one. Are we ready? Let's get to the second one. Are you taking your notes? I hope so. We'll be right back. It is really hot in the she shed, and I really wish that I could record the rest of this with my Beyonce fan, but I know sound. All right, here we go. Let's get to the second intervention here. We got our doodads and notepads and all the things. Let's go. Codified recovery and the right to rest. Once again, as I talked a little bit about somatic liberation, right? How can we take back autonomy and liberate our bodies, particularly as we're talking about the collective bargaining agreement. So the second intervention, for years, y'all, players endured commercial travel. Now, remember, I'm talking about me and Aaron doing a turnaround trip to Vegas. We on Southwest, okay? Because that's what we do. But then I look and I'm like, dang, that girl is tall. Kelsey Plum, what are you doing here with us, right? They don't have to, that's done, dead that, okay? Players endured commercial travel, sitting in terminal airports, cramping on flights. Now, my 5'6" with my bum needs, you know, sometimes depending on how long the flight is, you know, Dr. G's little irritate tits. So can you imagine Brittany Griner trying to get comfortable when she in aisle 28, seat C, in the middle? Okay, so the new CBA, y'all, makes charter travel a permanent codified right. Yo, charter flights. It also addresses this cadence, the brutal scheduling, too many games, too few days. So let's say that, you know, Sparks have a game against Washington, so they're going across the US of A, right? And so because they were doing commercial flight, Southwest got canceled. Can you imagine if they had to travel with all this bullshit that we got going on and still trying to play? But anywho, how does that help you create more sensible game rhythms? Well, that's what they're doing here for this new CBA. Let's talk about the physiological impact. Charter flights means that players can sleep in their own beds. Now, I am one, I don't mind it. I don't mind a slumber party. I really don't. It depends on the when and the where and the why and the how. But if I could sleep in my own bed, 9 out of 10. Okay. There might be one time it's just like, you know what? Dr. G has party. So let me take the guest room. But these players can sleep in their own beds, y'all, instead of airport terminals. That means that their bodies can begin the parasympathetic reset, the rest and digest. Go ahead and we'll break that down for the somatic liberation series. Go ahead and go on the Sports Grid Lab. Thank you very much. They can do the cycle immediately after the game, rather than being in a state of this heightened sense of their sympathetic activation for hours. They're always on alert. Okay, they cannot officially rest because they're in the airport. This is a foundational intervention just for our you see, you know, they're part of my team. You know what I mean? You know, pay them what you owe them, but me too. You know what I mean? Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This is a foundational intervention for their endocrine health, right? Their immune function and neuromuscular recovery. They get to sleep in their own bed. Let's look at the third intervention. You're doing great. Very proud of you, my sports crit scholars. Okay. Medical. All right, let's go with our third intervention. Are you ready? Do you have your notes out? Do you have your sports crit composition book? You better have it out. The third intervention is medical infrastructure and the standardization of care. What do I mean? The old CBA, good people, teams only employed, you ready? one athletic trainer and a team physician. The results were inconsistent, often inadequate medical support. Let's talk about the new CBA. Are you ready? Here it is. The new agreement mandates a massive upgrade. I low-key feel that like we need to have like a drum roll of something of some sort. Titus, give me a drum roll or something like that. Okay. Are you ready? Teams now require they have to employ 2 athletic trainers, 1 strength and conditioning coach, 1 physical therapist, 1 director of sports medicine, 1 massage therapist, and provide access to nutritionists. Hey! Now, one step further is they need a sports psychologist on every team. But, you call Dr. G, credential counselor, doctor, PhD, I'll get you together. Somatic liberation. But anyway, wonderful upgrade. You understand what I'm saying? What does this mean? Furthermore, in 2028, teams must meet standards of practice when it comes specifically to their practice facilities. What do I mean? They have to include separate medical and treatment room, okay, for the athletes, then a private weight room and a cardio area for exclusive use by the WNBA team, okay? It's not okay. Well, this open from 8 to 4, and here come Lontrell at 3:15 talking about, can I do an open gym? That's not what we're going to be doing here. The CBA says none of that, okay? Players can also now seek a second opinion, good people, for any sort of injury at the team's expense. So listen, let me go ahead and call Chantel Rogers. She was my sports psych college, and I know she's the real deal. And guess what, Washington? You're paying for it. Oh my gosh. Once again, giving these athletes true agency over their bodies, over their injury, etc. Here we go. What's the physiological impact of that? This is a heavy one. I love it. The difference, this is between Band-Aid care and a comprehensive preventative care. Okay, are you listening? Are you following me? A dedicated strength and conditioning coach prevents injuries. A physical therapist addresses imbalances before they become Achilles tears, MCL tears, ACL tears, you name it. A private treatment room provides dignity and care for athletes. I mean, this is a CBA that's recognizing that medical care is not a luxury, good people. It's a performance imperative. I mean, let's really talk about it. Let's get to the 4th one. Here we go. Reproductive autonomy and the end of, quote, motherhood penalty. Yes! So I have my bullet points, but I'm going to go off of the script that I created for myself. Motherhood penalty is a real thing. I did, mention this in a previous episode. I'm so happy to be at the institution that I am now. We're done with kids. However, when I was pregnant with Austin, with my little boy, I was promised, set in stone. I had the credentials. I was told face to face, look me in my eye, that I would have a leadership role in creating our ethnic studies program at our institution. It was great. I led all the meetings. It was beautiful. But I was pregnant, and when I went on maternity leave, because I was not tenured, they gave it to some other joker. For those that know the former institution that I was at, go ahead and ask them how their ethnic studies program is doing. Yeesh! Okay, we're back. All right. Here we go. Okay. Oh, Dr. G, you grow up. No, I refuse it. All right. So let's continue on with the beautiful breakdown of why the WNBA collective bargaining agreement is so much more. Okay, so let's continue on with the reproductive autonomy and the motherhood penalty. The old system provided minimal protection for pregnant players, leaving them very, very vulnerable to discrimination and trade. The 2022 dispute between De'Erica Hambriz, who was on the Las Vegas Aces, became a flashpoint. And I'm really glad that this is something that the collective bargaining agreement has incorporated, because it really revealed a lot of systems. The failure, particularly to De'Erica as an athlete, as a woman, as a Black woman, as a professional athlete. So what does this mean? So the new CBA explicitly states teams must obtain a pregnant player consent before trading her. Pretty cut and dry. It also expands family planning, which I love. It's benefits to players with more than 2 years of service, and it can provide them what? 2 weeks paid leave for the non-birthing parents. Now we know that there are a few couples in the WNBA, and so listen, what happens when the non-birthing parent is excluded from being able to stay home and care for mama and baby? Well, new CBA said 2 weeks paid leave for non-birthing parents. I fucking love it. What's the physiological impact on that? This is the ultimate protection of body autonomy. Oh my God. The ability to plan for, to carry, to recovery, right? Now, some people say, hey, how was your vacation? I was on pregnancy leave, Todd. Are you kidding me? It allows athletes to make decisions about their hormonal health, their family, their long-term physical future without penalty. I mean, honestly, that's some good shit. All right, let's move on to the fifth and last intervention that we are going to be framing this as a public health intervention. Number 5, mental health and the validation of the whole person. The new collective bargaining agreement now must explicitly include mental health support. Hell yeah. By 2027, players can be reimbursed for up to $2,200 per person for seeking mental health expenses. Yo! What's the physiological impact? What's the psychological impact? This legitimizes what we all know, what hopefully we've been learning in our hashtag Sports Crit Classroom. Physiologically, mental and physical health are inseparable. Chronic stress, anxiety, depression, they're real. They have real measurable outputs and impacts on inflammation, injury risk, and recovery. By funding mental health, by being able to reimburse the players, the CBA treats the whole athlete. What we're going to do now is I want us to refer to my ATSS, Athlete Tier Systems of Support. I've also used it as the Athlete Activist Tier Systems of Support article that I published in the Sport and Social Work Journal. So we're going to go ahead and pull that up and flex, but that's going to be one of the pieces and one of the resources that we're going to use as we break down the new CBA, once again, as a health intervention policy. All right. So good people, why does this matter for kinesiology? Why are we using our conditions of care lecture module? Why are we using the WNBA new collective bargaining agreement as the case study as we ride off into the sunset into the end of the semester? Why does this matter? Well, this is a call to action, good people. So for decades, the field of kinesiology, physical therapy, sports medicine, they've kind of operated in this kind of the space of individualism, particularly when it comes to the methodology of healing, right? We study the hamstring, not the contact. We analyze gait patterns, not financial insecurity, right? But the CBA forces us to look at a radical new set of questions. You know, to me, it's a very sports crit lens, if you know what I mean, okay? It's the single greatest threat to an athlete's ACL. And can you believe it that it's a non-contact pivot, but it's the chronic cortisol exposure of year-round working out, competition driven by financial insecurity that our field must expand. If charter flights, has a greater impact on tissue recovery than any compression boot on the market, then our hierarchy of interventions are wrong, very wrong. If a clause requiring a team to get a pregnant player's consent before they're traded to be the most significant reproductive health protection of all the sports, then we must admit that health is a labor issue. Pun intended. This CBA is the most important sports medicine document of the year. Whether if you're going to be a physical therapist, you're going to be a doctor of PT, you're going to go into nursing, right? Adaptive PE, you're going to teach kinesiology, biomechanics. Yo, it proves that if you want to protect athlete health, my wonderful sports grid scholars, you can't just study muscles. You've got to study systems. You've got to study power. And you have to study economics, using that good old sports crit lens, because the most powerful health intervention is the one with the greatest potential to produce injury, prolong careers, and improve the quality of life. It's not just a new training protocol. It might be a collective bargaining agreement. be right back. And the WNBA, these players understood this to the utmost degree. They understood that the single greatest threat to their health wasn't an ACL tear. No, it was a system designed to run them into the ground and discard them. How dare they say, pay us what you owe us. So they didn't just negotiate for a bigger check. They negotiated for salaries that allowed them to rest, staff that allow for true care, charters that allow for recovery, and protections that allow for autonomy, good people. A healthy athlete is not just built in the weight room. A healthy athlete isn't just built in the training room. A healthy athlete is built in a just system. And the WNBA didn't just negotiate a new contract. They wrote a beautiful new structure and standard for what it means to truly care for human beings who generate this product that we call sports that we love. And that's not just a win for the WNBA. It's a blueprint for every league, for every organization, and for every field that claims to care about human performance. And I'm talking to you, my sports crit scholars, in the wild, in my hashtag sports crit classroom, because you can't optimize a body you refused to protect. Good people, thanks for rocking and rolling with me. It's Dr. G, the mind, the brains, and the beauty behind sports crit. Once again, I'm hoping we're able to see the WNBA, the collective bargaining agreement, through a sports crit lens, to look at it in ways in which this was a healthcare bill. Anyway, thanks for rolling with me. And don't forget, we must continue to disrupt, reframe, and rewrite the game. I'm out.
Oh, sports crit lab, sports crit lab. Interrogate, liberate, that's the plan. Yeah.